In August 2026, they're making a program called the Disc to Digital Program.
Called it. Games to one another W, man. I told you we was pushing for a digital-only future. But the funny thing is, AG, at least Microsoft is giving an option to physical game owners to be able to transfer their games to a digital license. Unlike Sony saying, you know what, we don't even want your games on the PS6. You're going to have to pay $70 to $80 for those games all over again. Now, mind you, do I like what's going on here? Of course not, guys. You know this. I'm a physical guy. But at the end of the day, this is far better than what you're getting on PlayStation.
Yeah, they want you to take your discs and turn them into digital copies. Right? The disc to digital program arrives for Xbox One and Series X. And this gives me the idea, if you're coming with a digital program to Xbox One and Series X, then you're getting prepared for people to pretty much turn all their physical copies into digital license so that you could be fully prepared for the Xbox Helix. Because why else would you be doing this?
Well, I mean, at least they'll have a catalog of games to play, unlike looking at, you buy the PS6 and you say, hey, I already own The Last of Us 2. Oh, well, you're going to have to pay $60, $70 again for this digital version now. Well, at least Xbox gamers have the option of taking their physical disc and at least converting it into something.
If you could just use the physical copies on Xbox One and Series X. At least to an extent, right? Oh, no, it's all right here. Everything that you thought was going to happen, like Helix getting some type of disk drive, well, that's not going to be happening. It's looking
well, I am hearing that it will, mostly just to solely do this disc to digital program. Now, in regards to new Xbox PC games, most of those are going to be all digital. That's from what I'm hearing, but you still don't know that. I mean, I think the reason why Microsoft is doing this right now is solely to prepare people for the Xbox Helix.
Like, and even then, it wouldn't come with it. It would have been something that you could add.
He's just upset that he can't take his lousy PS5 physical games to the PlayStation 6. That's all this is, man. You know, now mind you, I don't like this either. I'm not sitting here telling you that I like this either. I'm saying that at least Microsoft is giving an option for their consumers that bought in to the scam, which was physical games that they never owned. And now they're like, okay, well, we know you own it. You put those games in. Now, mind you, we're going to break this down because you didn't want to read the whole article. You can still use those games, right? You can still use the games. We're going to get to that in a minute. You can still use the games on another Xbox. The only thing is that if that disc is used on another one, you lose the digital license. So essentially, you could put the physical game, I guess it's similar to PC, you tie it into the account, and then you don't even need the disc anymore, and you can just play the game digitally. So Microsoft kind of already knows, okay, he put the disc in, he already synced it online, now he has access to the game, even if the disc is not there. Now, mind you, if that disc is used elsewhere, then that digital license that he has playing the game digitally will be removed and given to the next person. That's how it's worked, until he gets his physical disc back.
Onto it.
We'll get to that point in a minute. I got y'all.
It's saying right here on the roadmap, if we go down, Disc to Digital Insider. Right here, Disc to Digital Insider Public Beta. Question here is why are you trying to get everybody to do that on these platforms? Right, that's the thing you should be thinking. We have a lot to talk about here, right? Well, the reason why is because you want people to get rid of disc. You want them to
But you don't have to get rid of disc. Getting rid of the disc is also getting rid of your digital copy. You do know that, right? I read the whole article. And it says that if somebody takes that same disc and put it on another Xbox, you will lose the digital download version of that digital license on that console. So if you're like, oh, so if you're this type of person, I think this is how Microsoft is destroying the used market. If you put the disc in, right, you download, you get the digital license, you got the disc, right, and he's like, oh, I want to just give it to somebody else. Well, guess what? If you do that, that you're going to lose it, and that person's going to gain your digital license, and you're going to lose the one you already had, which means that you will need that same disc, like I said. So that makes no sense. If anything, this just single-handedly killed the used gaming market for sure.
onto the digital license.
But you don't know what you're talking about. You're saying that, oh, well, you put the disc in, you get the digital license, and then you can just give it to somebody else to do this. Why would they do that? That means there'll be 20, 30, 40, 50 other Xboxes with the same game. And they're all playing it. No, that's not how it works. You put the game in, you download a digital license or whatever, you take the game out, you don't no longer need the game anymore to put it in, and it will still play as a digital copy, even though you're not using it to play the game. But if you give it to somebody else, you lose the digital license, which also would mean that you would need that disc again. Now, mind you, I don't know if it's a serial number or if it's a different disc or if it has to be the same disc. Those are questions that still need to be answered, but as of right now, that is how it's working.
And you're basically saying the positron system, which this is what this was called, right?
Yeah.
It's going to get you prepared for the Xbox Helix, which they're not going to make that many up anyways.
Oh, here we go. You see that? Oh, they're not going to make, no, they ain't going to make that many PS6. Because once people realize that they can't transfer their PS5 games to the 6 as gracefully as they could on Xbox, well, guess what? Where do you think them dudes are going to be going?
And if you say there should be another reason, then what is the other reason? What, just to have digital license?
Well, to some people, this might come off as a plus. I don't really personally like. I mean, at least the disc is still accessible and usable. Like I said, I heard it was going to rip the data from it, and you won't be able to use the Xbox disc anywhere else. So it's good and it's bad at the same time, because let's say if you have 10 discs and you put the disc in and they give you the digital license, you don't have to go back and put the disc in because Microsoft already knows you own the game. So in that way, that's kind of good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you put 10 physical games in, you don't have to go scavenge through your collection, go through your shelf to put that disc in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys know how there's times, bro, where I'm downloading a game and I'm like, damn, I can't download multiple games at one time. But now you probably can. Oh, snap, that's kind of cool. If you put 10 physical games, all right, into the new Xbox Helix or the new Xbox, and you got 10 games, right, and you get the digital license for each game and then you pull it out, that means probably, I'm just speculating, that means that you can have 10 of these games downloading at the same time, even though they're a disc, right? Or in the background or something like that. That's actually kind of cool, not going to lie.
If somebody has a disc, I don't think they want to do that, right? But
well, they're not losing the data. That's what you're not understanding. At least from what I heard Microsoft was planning on doing that. Who knows to see if that does end up happening in the future. But as of right now, that's not what the case is.
It's what Microsoft is trying to get you to do. So,
like PlayStation, right?
For digital ownership,
he's upset.
That's what these companies are pretty much.
Oh, now it's companies.
Towards.
I thought it was just Xbox. I thought it was just Xbox.
Obvious, right here. October 26th, we get the idea of backwards compatibility on PC full launch. Once it will be opt-in. Publishers decide if they participate, and they can charge for the digital conversion. Oh boy, that is absolutely hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. Coming from a guy that paid $10 for an upgrade on his PlayStation 4 games. I mean, guys, this is nothing new. Third parties always have done this. I'm just saying. Because they might be versions, like let's say there might be an Xbox One version, and that charge could be for that enhanced version, which we already know that's what a lot of these third-party companies are doing. Nintendo's doing it, PlayStation is doing it, Xbox doesn't necessarily do it themselves, but you know, I mean, these are the same guys. Didn't Sony do that to y'all with the PS3 though? Paid $10 extra to get the Call of Duty Ghost? So let's not act like this is new, guys. Let's not act like this is new. This has been going on for a while, and you guys know it. Gamester with another W. And this is why people love my channel, because I break down things articulately. I break them down with facts. That's why. Not
only is this company trying to take away your physical copies that you own, but
how can they take away your physical copy? If I if I put my physical copy in and Microsoft gives me a digital license, nobody else can use that disc. If somebody else takes that disc and put it in another Xbox, I lose my digital license, which also would mean that I would have to hold onto the disc, because I don't want my license being removed away from me. Come on now.
Saying that publishers,
he's just upset because PlayStation ain't got this option. That's all it is.
And if so, you may be charged for a digital conversion fee. You have to be kidding me. It's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's so dumb that PlayStation didn't even give you an option to even convert any of the things that you purchase physically. I know. Now mind you, this sucks as well. we all can agree. But damn, at least it's an option. Can we all agree with that?
Oh boy. It's the thing with this company. Then you had people with the mentality in the Xbox world.
Here we go.
Back then, that the Helix was going to be this all-star console that's going to get Steam games, get PlayStation exclusives, and have free online. What happened to that? Well, that's not happening because what Microsoft is trying to do here, convert physical copies to digital. In October 2026, original Xbox games will be arriving on PC via Game Pass and Xbox Store. No Steam. And 10% physical. I'm just saying. Those are the stats. It's really bad. In the PlayStation world, it's 82% digital and 18% physical. Some people can say, oh no, probably 20%. I'm like, okay, that's fine. In the Nintendo world, we don't really have a stat, but I know it's higher than both of those.
No, that's not true, because most of the Nintendo games that have been coming out have been doing far better digitally. Mario Kart World did better digitally. Pokemon Pokopia did better digitally. You're lying. Most Nintendo games are doing better digitally than they are physical. Star Fox did better digitally than physical. And you know how you know that? Because when you look at the sales of the physical copy, and then you're like, hold on, 40,000? This don't look like the game sold even remotely close to 1 million. So where did this other 800, 900,000 came from? Oh, that's right, digital. No wonder Star Fox is top charts on the Switch eShop. Is it top charts on the eShop because they bought it physically, or is it top on the eShop because they bought it digitally? Exactly. Gamester with another W.
Big time. Nintendo's probably easily in the high 30% range. 40%,
not even close. You're pulling these numbers out of your butt. That's not even close.
It's very healthy over there. And like I was telling people before, if you wanted a solution, you saw my video, and the Switch 2, Nintendo just hit $49.99, and they dropped digital games down $10.
You know, I'm tired of listening to this, man. You know what I mean? You don't bring no facts, you bring no awareness, you bash Xbox, and you don't even have good takes. So we're gonna show you how original our content is. So let's break down the situation, right? So let's start where it gets good. Disc to digital feature has been available since July, with general availability for Xbox One and Series X owners. In August, for those unfamiliar, disc to digital is Microsoft's initiative to promote digital-only future for Xbox consoles. We know that. This feature allows players to insert their game disc into the console to convert them into digital licenses. When the disc is scanned, Microsoft uses the unique key to create a digital license, which prevents the disc from being activated on third-party consoles, probably other platforms, and stops it from being rented, borrowed, or sold to others. That's what y'all don't understand. But if you use it on another platform, you lose the license. We're going to get into that in a minute. Okay, Sony and Microsoft moving towards that. First, to scan their games, obtain digital license. They consoles physical disc readers. Game licensing will now be tied to the specific user account, with Xbox managing engineering certification supports. If any issues are, however, retain the right to participate. So the publishers have to decide if they want to even do this in the first place. Maintaining full control over rights, pricing, and branding. Right? Let's get down to this part. It says fully released backwards compatible place to play original Xbox and all that. Right? So now, mind you, if you use, right, this feature, and let's say you use the disc, and you put it and you get the digital license, right? If somebody else uses that disc, you cannot get you lose the digital license. You lose it. Now, mind you, crazy thing is about this leak, I guess you could say, 2027, 360 games are going to be rolling out across next-gen Xbox devices. So who knows? Xbox PC might be dropping next year. That's probably why Microsoft is doing this right now. So the fact that they're doing this means that they're preparing people for the Helix. Now, mind you, do I agree with this? Do I like it? I definitely don't. Right? But at the same time, at least it's an option for those who did buy physical and can still have access to their games through a digital license. That's all I can say. But it does suck for people that own physical games, because this is kind of like what PC became. Remember how they said when you buy a game, it's tied to this PC or it's tied to this account? And that is exactly what's going on. And then to add on to the conversation, the Xbox Disc digital program is planned to allow gamers to transfer their digital Xbox libraries to more easily accessible digital versions. The disc can still be freely loaned out, but once the disc is put into another console, you'll lose access to the digital copy until you get the disc back. So this right here kills GameStop's used market. This right here destroys it. Nobody's gonna want these games. I mean, I'm really looking at it, right? Would a store want to take these games in? I mean, essentially, this is like a game key, right? This is similar to a game key, ain't it? Let me see. I really want to think this thoroughly through, right? You got the disc. I mean, you take the digital license from the person, similar to what the Nintendo is. It's the same concept. You go there to get the digital, but you still need the cartridge to access your digital game. This, you don't need the physical disc, but if you get rid of the physical disc, somebody could just take your digital license, and then you lose access to your digital one. So, I don't know. They both suck. I mean, it's terrible, guys. This is really terrible. I mean, it was kind of like that anyway. If you own the disc, you can't really play the game unless you... So it's like, it's just weird, though. It's very weird, indeed, because it's very different, right? But I mean, if you have the physical disc, I mean, is it really the worst thing? I mean, you still have to have access to your disc. You can't just give out... You can't just be like, oh, I got the digital license, I'm going to just throw this disc out. And if you throw that disc out, you might have to break it. If you do that, you might have to break it. I gotta break these discs. So Microsoft did it this way on purpose. So it's either you keep them for your own leisure, right? You can't sell them, because as soon as you sell them, you lose your digital version. You lose it, and it goes right back to the next person. So this sucks. I mean, at this point, Microsoft kind of like what they did. Some people might say, well, it's more value. You have more freedom and blah, 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 blah. But yet, even with the more options, I don't know. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? I just don't like the sound of it. It just sounds bad, even if it does have some plus and benefits to it. Because, I mean, if you have 10 physical discs and you put them in, you don't have to put those 10 physical discs in to play your games. So I guess that's kind of cool. But this kind of does still suck. Because it's like, I mean, essentially Microsoft's saying you bought these games and they're yours. And you're going to keep them. You're not going to sell them. You're not going to trade them. They're yours. This is the same thing with PC. You know what I mean? This right here was to destroy the used gaming market. And we could clearly see that. You know, companies have came out. They say even Nintendo, and Nintendo hates this as well. I would say now my whole question is this still better than the game key? I mean, I think it is. I think this is still better than the game key because think about it. Digital, you need to still have, even if you get the digital license, you still need the cartridge to play your data. Microsoft says, okay, you gave us the physical copy. You don't need to re-put the physical copy back in, but you must maintain it or destroy it. Because if you don't, well, I'd probably, damn, this is crazy. Well, I see what's going on here. So if you don't keep that digital, that physical copy, because I'm just afraid of corruption, but I'm assuming if they're transferring a license to a license, you'll be able to re-download it. So it's either this. You get the physical disc, you put it in your Xbox, you get the digital version, and then you break that version. Because you can't keep it, because if somebody else gets it, they're gonna have access to your game. They're gonna take your digital license from you. So this whole thing is to kill the used market. So I would still say that this is still better than a game key option. I mean, I can only imagine if I had a Switch 2 cartridge and I put it in, that means that even if you lose the cartridge or if it breaks or something like that happens, you could still have your Street Fighter 6 on your Switch 2 without even having to put the Switch 2 cartridges. Because I think that is ridiculous that Nintendo gives you a digital license from a game key and then you have to have the physical cartridge to still use that. That is actually worse than what Xbox is doing. Xbox, at least you get the physical disc in. You put it in there. You don't need to put the disc in there again after the initial setup. You can put it, do whatever you want, burn it, fish fry it, whatever you decide to do. You just can't lend it out. You can't lend it out. You know, and if you do, remember, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your game. So now I'm trying to think, is there value in that? Is that something a used market would want? I mean, technically, if they do buy those in the stores, I mean, I wouldn't pay much if I had a used gaming store, mom and pop shop. But could they see some sort of value? Maybe some value, maybe, but not enough to buy like top dollar for. I would definitely do not that. But I will say, if the game's in the store, the person can reactivate it on his Xbox and still play it. So I guess in that grand schemes, it's good, but it still sucks, guys. Like, I'm not a fan of this, but like I said, gaming is going all digital. You know, if you want physical, you got to get yourself an M64. I'm just trying to make the most sense out of this, you know? I'm really trying to think as thoroughly as I can to give you guys the best answers that I know I'm very capable of doing, because you're not going to get it with Dreamcast Guide 2. So, now, is this better than what PlayStation is doing by stopping the production of Blu-ray completely, which I know Microsoft is doing? This is more of a transition to that. Then I guess, but it still sucks, though. You know, it still sucks. Because it's like, damn, bro, like, I mean, who's to say, like, if the Helix doesn't have a disc drive, people are going to use their old Xboxes, right? And they're going to put their disc into that one, right, to the Xbox to get the digital license for their Helix. So, I mean, that means you'll still be able to use, I will say one thing. That means that you'll still be able to use your disc games on your Helix. Even if Microsoft doesn't have a disc drive for the Helix. If you have a Series X and you put the disc in, you put it in there, and you transfer and it gives you the digital license, well, that digital license will be accessible through your Xbox PC. So it is definitely like a farewell. This is kind of what I'm seeing. So even if Xbox doesn't have... what is it called? Physical. If they don't do any physical games for their future releases for the Xbox PC, you'll still be able to have your essentially your physical games available on the Helix because of this, even if the Helix doesn't have a disc drive. So, like I said, I guess for Xbox gamers, you got a plus. I guess you're not missing out on your games. I guess you don't have to repurchase your games like how PlayStation does. But all in all, this still sucks. But at least the data is still on the disc. I thought it would be a lot worse. Like I was telling you, who knows? They still can. But I don't know. This is a very interesting topic because I would have ended this video a long time ago. But I want to make sure I have so many check marks, right? That I'm trying to check off on. So, you know, any concerns that you guys may have. And I'm trying to think of so many suggestions that you guys would even come up with, you know, questions and answers. So I'm trying to give that to y'all right now, you know, because I know there's going to be some guy in the comment section asking me like, Game, so what do you think about this? And I want to make sure that all this is elaborated in this video. I'm trying to think of like what my supporters be saying and what naysayers be saying. You know, but obviously this is far better than what PlayStation is doing. If you got a Series X, I mean, Series S, you'll be all right because you're all digital anyway. But if you're a Series X owner, is this enough for you? Is this enough to say, okay, well, yeah, this does suck, but this is still better than PlayStation and having to repurchase all your games again? It's still better, but it still sucks. The data is still on the disc. I mean, but the question is, you can't lend those games out. You can't, like say, hey, well, I mean, you can't really do that anyway. If you're playing a game, you can't really do that anyway, even if it's physical. So I will say there's some pluses. You know, if you got 10 physical games and you put them in there, they don't need to read it. They just give you the digital license, right? You just play it from there. You don't need the disc anymore. You can fish fire, break it, whatever happens to it. If you still hold on to it, you can, you know, redo the, you know, the thing. You know, I mean, but technically speaking, even if you had a physical disc, you couldn't get rid of it. Now, if you want to get rid of it and say, hey, I don't want to play this game and give it to your friend, well, your friend will now have that digital license that you have now will be transferred to him. So I guess it's still the same thing, guys. It's still similar. It's just, you know, it just sucks. I don't like this. I don't like all this digital talk myself, but I understand we got to bring up these situations because these are some concerns that a lot of people, not very many, but a lot of old school, old heads have. And I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities, all the negatives, all the positives of this situation. You know, some people might love it. They put 10 discs in and they don't have to put their disc back in. They can leave it on their shelf. You know what I mean? And then when they're done with it, they take the disc out of their Xbox and say, hey, you want to play it? And then the digital version of his game is removed and then received by the other recipient. So, still better than PlayStation. I will say this is still better than a game key, right? Because game key, you still, if like for that's what I'm saying. Game key, that's how you know game keys is bad. Game keys is so terrible, right? That you get a digital license of a game, but if you don't have the physical game, if you don't have it, you lose it. Like, you lose access to your game. So that's what I'm saying, man. Nintendo, you might want to take strides into this, because this would probably be a better option for Nintendo than it would be for Xbox. Nintendo, this is far better. This is a game key done right. And they all suck. I'm just letting y'all know. But I'm just thinking more and more about it, because I think it's stupid. I'm being honest. Because I have a few of them. Game keys, right? And you need to... it's so stupid. I have Street Fighter 6, and it's like on my Switch 2. I bought it for cheap. And then I put it on, and I'm like, oh, I still need to put the Switch 2 cartridge in to use it. But with the Xbox, I don't have to do that. If I put the physical game in, and it transferred back to the digital license, I could just play it, even though I already have the disc. So right there, that's kind of cool. I mean, hey, that's kind of cool. PlayStation 6 ain't even offering an option for that, which is kind of sad in itself. But yeah, like I said, man, hopefully I touched up on a lot of things, a lot of concerns. If you guys have any more, please leave them in the comment section. Like I said, and you guys tell me what y'all think. All right? Take care, y'all. Peace out.